I was seconds away from ignoring my vibrating phone when the name lighting up the screen froze me. Dad. A name that once meant safety. Now it might as well have been a hazard sign. I answered only because some dark part of me wanted to know why he was calling. His voice blasted through, sharp, breathless, almost like he'd rehearsed it. Where the hell are you? You need to come home now. Home. What a strange word. It had been 3 years since I slipped out that front door for good, and not one of them had noticed. Not my mother, who tolerated me like an inconvenience she never asked for. Not my siblings, who repeated whatever story they'd been given. And certainly not my father. Especially him. Yet now he sounded as if I'd vanished 5 minutes ago, as if I still owed him the instant obedience he'd always demanded. I held the phone to my ear, listening to his ragged breathing. I didn't reply. Not immediately. I wanted to hear the fear bloom. And God, it did. It's almost funny how normal everything looked on the surface back then. Sunday dinners, stiff smiles, cheap jokes made at my expense. But underneath all that, something ugly simmered. A silent ranking system where affection was a commodity, and I had nothing to trade. I learned early that silence was safer than honesty, that if I made myself small enough, maybe I'd be overlooked. My parents rewarded obedience, never connection. I was smart enough to understand the game, dumb enough to hope it might change. I still remember the exact second I realized I didn't really exist to them. Not in any way that mattered. I came home from school one evening, suitcase still packed from a competition I'd won, trophy shining in my hand. They hadn't even noticed I'd been gone. "Did you bring milk?" my father asked. That was the moment I started planning my escape. Betrayal doesn't always show up as cheating or lies. Sometimes it's an absence so deep it hollows you out. I started spotting it in the small things. My birthday passed without a word. My paychecks evaporated into family costs. Conversations happened over me, around me, never to me. Then the final hit arrived in the form of a bank statement. My father had used my identity to open a line of debt under my name, and he had zero intention of paying it. I stared at the screen, my stomach going cold and steady. It didn't surprise me, but it clarified everything. I didn't confront him. Emotion was wasted on people who fed off it. Instead, I traced every account, every forged signature, every unauthorized approval. I documented it all, the dates, statements, call records. I contacted one attorney, then another, just to confirm what I already suspected. Legally, he had tied his financial survival to my credit. Perfect. For months, I let him keep digging. Let him believe I was too naive or too soft to catch on. I played the quiet ghost, out of sight, but useful. Then one calm morning before dawn, I loaded my car, deleted every forwarding address, and disappeared. They didn't call. Not a single time. Not until today. My goal wasn't revenge. Not initially. It was freedom. I froze the credit line, filed fraud reports, opened a case, and set alerts on every account he ever touched. When the bank began investigating, they found exactly what I'd prepared, a breadcrumb trail pointing straight back to him. Still, I stayed silent. I wanted him to feel the walls inching closer, slowly, deliberately. The longer he avoided the problem, the higher the penalties grew. The debt swelled. His accounts were flagged. His precious reputation began to crack. And I waited. "Answer me," he snapped again. "You need to come home. Fix this. They're saying I committed fraud. You tell them it was a misunderstanding. You tell them it was yours." There it was. A confession disguised as a demand. "I'm not coming home," I finally said. The silence that followed didn't feel empty, it felt like something breaking. "You ungrateful, you think you can ruin me?" "No," I said quietly. You ruined yourself. You're my child, he barked. Exactly, I replied. And you never acted like a father. I could practically see him, face flushed, fists tight, confusion tangling with fury. For the first time, he understood I wasn't an extension of him. I wasn't his shield anymore. You fix this, he whispered now, the anger slipping into something else. Fear. Please. I let him sit in it. You didn't notice when I left, I said. But you'll notice this. And I hung up. I stood by my window, watching the city lights shimmer. A life I built without them. For years, I thought the victory was leaving. I was wrong. Being forgotten was the wound. Being needed was the weapon. Being untouchable was the revenge. My father had spent his life pretending I didn't matter. Now every consequence he faced had my silence etched into it. And for the first time, I felt whole.